Good morning. Welcome to this week's episode of Bris Golf Live. I'm your host, Michael Brisbane. I'm a PGA professional and I'm the Director of Instruction at Azalea City Golf Course in Mobile, Alabama. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button down below and ring that notification bell. It'll help me out and you'll get notified when I'm posting things on YouTube. So today's episode, we're going to continue to build on our backswing. Today we're going to take care of our arm positions. We've already taken care of our posture. We've taken care of our backswing pivot. Now we're going to kind of complete the backswing by getting our arms in the proper place. I've got a video of me out on the driving range showing you what I'm looking for. I'm going to have some swing analysis today of one of my students who does the typical mistake and then the fix. I then have a great little video of one of my favorite drills that I like students to use to improve their arm position. And lastly on the show, we have this week's episode of Don't Be That Guy. So stick around to the end because I think you're going to want to see this episode of Don't Be That Guy. So let's fire up the intro and let's get started. All right. So why do I think the arm position in the backswing is so important? I think that if we can get the arms in a very sound fundamental position that is very simple, it makes the downswing so much easier. And if I don't have to fix anything on the downswing, I'm not having to make any corrections on the downswing, it's just going to make me a better ball striker. I'm going to hit the ball more consistent. It's going to hold up much better under pressure, and therefore making me a better golfer. So let's go out to the driving range and let's see what I'm looking for in the backswing.
Let's talk about the position we want our arms in the backswing, and also we'll talk a little bit about what we want our arms to do in the forward swing. So I'll start off with the biggest mistake that I see with my students is I just think that they all think they have to get the golf club way up here behind their head. And you don't. But in doing that, what they all do is they let their right arm and their right elbow get back behind them. You can see how my right arm is back behind my head. And then they look like this with their arms. If I look at it from this angle, you're going to see my right arm is behind me. And you're really looking at this inside part of my right arm. That's not what we want. When that right arm gets up and behind you, then on the downswing, it trails. The body will get out in front of it. That right arm will trail behind your hip, your right hip. You hear the term getting stuck a lot. People are, I'm stuck. And that's what they're talking about, that right arm is trailing behind their right hip. So when that also happens, that right arm gets trailing behind your right hip, it tends to make you want to have to flip at the bottom. And we know that we don't want to flip that club head. So to prevent this, if we can get our arms to stay in front of our chest, and when I'm talking about my arms, I'm talking about my elbows and my hands, and then therefore the golf club itself. If I can keep that club in front of my chest and I can keep my right arm wider, okay? I want my right arm to be away from my body. I don't want it to be tucked into my body. I don't want to tuck that right arm into my right hip, okay? I want my right arm to be wide. Therefore, on the downswing, as I come down, that right arm can get down in front of my right hip, which is going to be a much more powerful position with my arms and my hands in front of my chest and with the club lagging, okay? So what it's going to look like at the top of the backswing would be this. If I can rotate my shoulders and my chest and make a proper pivot, I can get my arms to stay out in front of me. You'll notice that you can see my right elbow underneath of my left elbow, okay? So my right elbow is down My elbows have felt like they've stayed together, and my arms are wide and in front of my chest. Here's what it'll look like from down the line. My arms are in front of me. My elbows feel like they are together. My right elbow is down, okay? And they are out in front of my chest. This is going to make it super easy for you on the downswing, one, to let your arms lower. Look from this position, that we are here and we are lowering our arms, dropping that club, putting it back on the swing plate, okay? Then as our pivot starts to move forward, that pivot is going to drag that golf club in front of us. And we are going to have a much better chance of getting ourselves into a really good impact position with that shaft leaning forward, with the club head lagging, so we can hit the ball first and then the ground. So this is what we want to see in the backswing. Our arms stay in front of our chest, our right arm wide, and our right elbow down, okay? If you can't get to parallel to the ground at the top of the backswing, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal, okay? Don't screw up your mechanics trying to get up there to parallel where you think you're going to hit the ball better. Find the end of your backswing and then stop, okay? As I keep getting older, my swing keeps getting shorter. I look at videos of myself and my backswing's right here. And I'm still putting the ball out there pretty decently with distance. I haven't lost that much. So let's try and find these positions.
All right. So there it is. That's what I'm looking for in the backswing with your arm position. Sorry about that little computer glitch right there at the beginning. Still getting used to using the equipment while talking to everybody. So here we have one of my students. Matter of fact, the good lesson was just last weekend. Put my glasses on so I can see here. We have a before and after of exactly what I was talking about in that video of the arm position. The before is going to be on the left, him in the white shirt. The after is going to be over in the greenish gray shirt. So let me take him to the top of his backswing in the before. And just to say, this is a really nice young player. He's a senior in high school. Going to move on and go play a little junior college golf next year. I'm really proud of him. But here's Jackson doing exactly what I was talking about in the video. His right arm has gotten behind him. You can't see the right elbow. I want to show you one other thing, that arm getting behind you, when you get that arm up here behind your body, it tends to want to push your lower body forward. And you can see in Jackson's back here, there's a little bow. Okay? He's got a little bow there where it's starting to push his upper body forward. So let's go over to the after. When I finally got Jackson to find that proper position that I like. Here his arms are much wider. Okay? You can sort of see his right elbow underneath of his left elbow. And if you look at his spine, he doesn't have that bow in his spine anymore. Okay? Just a much better, much more simple position. Okay, now let me get rid of these lines and let's just see what happens on the downswing. And you'll see again exactly what I was talking about. And when Jackson first came to me for his golf lessons, he was very concerned about his right elbow being behind him. He said they had been trying to fix it for a long time and he just wasn't being able to do it. Well, as I explained to him, I said, I think it's because of where your arms are in the backswing. And if you'll fix that, I think the downswing will take care of itself. And you're going to see here, it really has. So to the left, here he is. He's going to start down. And you're going to see that right elbow is going to be dragging behind his right hip. Okay? He's in what a lot of people refer to as a stuck position. That arm is stuck behind him. Okay? It can't keep moving forward. And at the bottom, he's going to get a little bit of a flip. All right? Now, over to the right, in the good side, you're going to see his right elbow start to move down in front of his right hip. And he's now not in a stuck position. Okay, his arms are free to move past the ball. His arms are free to stay in front of him. Okay, his upper body is going to be free to continue to turn forward. So on the left, arm stays back too long. There's a little bit of a flip at the bottom, and you can see how long that right shoulder's staying back. Over here to the left, arms, excuse me, let me back that up. Over here to the right, his arms are free to get down in front of him. His shoulders and chest are freer to go forward. Okay, just a much nicer forward swing position. So there are the examples of what I'm talking about. Now, here's a great drill that I love to get my students to use in order to help them fix their arm position. And you're going to notice here there's no golf club involved. If you've watched the first 2 episodes, I love people to practice away from the golf ball, a lot of times without a golf club. So here we go, back to the drill.
Let me show you one of my favorite drills to do with people to work on their arm position. You're going to notice I've got a soccer ball in my hand. I don't have a golf club in my hand. This is the drill. The soccer ball essentially becomes our golf club. And by using the ball instead of a golf club, I am really just focusing on where I'm positioning the ball, and therefore my hands and my arms are going to be doing the proper thing as well. So when I grip this ball, I'm going to come up here a little closer. I'm really just kind of holding it in my fingers. Okay, I don't have it up in my palms. I'm not grabbing it with my palms. I'm just nice and lightly holding it with my fingers. And then I like to take one of the logos. This ball actually has a size number on it, 5, and I like to hold it so that number is looking at me. So I'm going to lightly hold this ball. I've got that number 5 looking right at my chest or right at my chin. Now, I'm going to take this ball and swing it back to the top of my backswing, okay? Now, again, I want my arms to be wide, okay? Just like I showed you with the golf club. My arms are wide. My right elbow is down. Looking from down the line, what you're going to see is I get here, and that ball is sitting in my right hand. My elbow is under the ball. There's a little tilt to it. I'm not quite flexible enough to have my elbow straight down, but my right wrist is bent. I'm holding the ball. My left wrist is flat, okay? This is the part in the backswing where we flatten that left wrist, which that back of that left wrist is controlling the club face, and we want that left wrist to stay flat through impact. So again, that number 5 is looking at me. I go to the top of my backswing. The ball is sitting in my right hand, and I've got that number 5 basically looking right in my ear, okay? I'm just holding it. I'm going back here, and that number 5 is looking right in my ear. Now, to start the downswing, I'm going to let this ball drop. I don't want the ball coming over, okay? I'm just going to let this ball start to drop. As I let that ball drop, I'm going to start to use my forward swing pivot and unwind my hips, dragging that ball down here in front of me, okay? The 5 is still looking at me. The back of my left wrist is flat. My right wrist is still bent. The ball, my arms and the ball are down in front of my chest. From there, I will continue to turn forward, keeping that ball extended, okay? And as you'll notice, as I was going forward, I was letting my arms rotate. So if this ball came flying out of my hands, I would want it coming out of my hands, feeling like it's spinning this way, okay? I don't want my right hand to come under this ball so that if I threw it, it would be coming out spinning this direction, all right? So I've got the 5 looking at me. I'm going to take it to the top of my backswing. It sits in my right hand. My arms are wide. I start the ball down. I unwind and get that ball in front of me, and I turn forward. And now, when I get all the way to my finish, that ball's now sitting in my left hand, okay? So this drill is not only teaching you where to put your arms in the backswing, it's teaching you how to keep the golf club and your arms in front of you, and it's teaching you how to rotate your arms in the golf swing. And that rotation of your arms is what's controlling a lot of what that club face is doing. Okay, so this is a fantastic drill. Any type of ball will do. A soccer ball, I like the soccer ball because of its size. You can have the little rubber play balls that you can get at any sporting goods stores. A basketball, if you're using a basketball, I like the smaller kid size as opposed to the big basketball. But just anything that you can grab and hold and swing will do a great job.
All right. So there's your golf lesson. There's a video analysis of what we're looking for and the flaws and the fixes. And there's a great drill for you to do. I can't remember if I said it in the video or not, but that ball drill, the drill with the soccer ball, is a fantastic one to do standing in front of a mirror. Just watch yourself do that drill over and over and over again, and you'll learn to do it faster. Okay, so let's go to this week's Don't Be That Guy. Just a quick little setup on this one. This one's taking place in the parking lot at the golf course. It's in my typical parking place, and here's what happened on the day that I took the video, and it's not the first time that it occurred, and so here we go. All right, so here's the parking lot. This is the parking place that I typically park in when I get to the golf course. It's underneath of a nice big oak tree. It creates shade, okay? Every now and then, some guys will beat me to it. They love to back their truck in there, okay? And when they finish their round, more than not, they'll stand at the back of their truck and they'll drink a few more beers. And you know what? I've got no problem with it. If they asked me to come over and offered me one, I'd probably go stand there and have a beer with them, all right? But it's what they do after they drink their beer that becomes the problem. And here it is. You can see where their beer cans end up. They have just taken them all and they've thrown them right up in the bushes. There's an empty pack of cigarettes right there, okay? And I'm getting ready to pan around, and you can see the building, and right on the other side of those pickup trucks is a garbage can. They're too lazy to walk over and put it in the garbage can. This is the golf course that they play. They play here multiple times a week. I don't understand it. If it's some place that I frequent, well, I'm not going to throw my trash out anyway. But if it's some place that I frequent that I like to go, I want the place to look the best that it can possibly look. I'm not going to throw my trash all over the place. And so they've just taken their beer cans, thrown them in the bushes, and some employee at the golf course is now going to go pick it up for them. This is not good, okay? This is the definition of laziness and a really great example of don't be that guy. So if you're going to drink a few beers after you play golf out in the parking lot, standing at the back of your truck, go find a trash can. Go put them in your truck, take them home, recycle them, do whatever you're going to do, but don't throw them in the parking lot. Don't throw them in the bushes, okay? Don't be that guy. All right, thanks so much for watching. Again, if you haven't done it so far, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell. It helps me out a lot. I think I'm changing my live streams to Sunday mornings. It's going to work out much better for me. I go to church early and then I come home, and it's very easy to do right now. Hopefully some of y'all are sitting around the house and maybe going to the golf course today. But if you'll use these tips, you'll keep watching. I think you're going to keep getting better at golf. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing y'all next time.